Hello, welcome to this video. Claudemir here again. Let's talk today about analog camera technologies. This is the content of the Ultimate Security Camera Guide. You find the link here in the description, so just click and go for it, alright? And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel, leave your thumbs up, your comments, and hit the bell notification. So let's talk about analog camera technologies. I'm talking here about CVBS, A8D, HD-TVI and HD-CVI. As you can see here, there are different manufacturers. Let's say, for example, Bosch, you can find CVBS cameras. You can also find HD cameras from Samsung, for example. Hikvision, HD-TVI, and Dahua, HD-CVI. It's not exclusive, right? You can find different manufacturers with different technologies here. Let's say, for example, if you get a Samsung camera, you can also find CVBS technology. But it's old technology, right? People usually don't use that anymore. You find old cameras with CVBS because it's low resolution compared to the new ones, okay? But you still find in the market some cameras with CVBS technology. I suggest not to use it. You can use those modern technology that is much better, right? So let's come here to understand better each one of them. Let's start with CVBS. It's a composite video broadcast signal. Regular camera, guys, traditional analog cameras. If you look at the market, you can find camera with 480 TVLs, 600 TVLs, 700 TVLs. Those are TV lines. I already talked about TV line in another video here in the channel. If you didn't see it, just look for it. It's important to understand every detail here, all right? So basically, you get a traditional DVR with the standard conversion. You gotta have analog input here, let's say 600 TV lines. That's converted to 0.3 megapixels. So you have analog input and digital output. That's basic stuff. It's old stuff, old technology, but it's still available in the market. I don't recommend anymore, as I said before, but it's still available out there, right? So here you see an example of an analog camera. This is a Samsung camera. As you can see here, 600 TV lines, 1/3 inch CCD Sony Super HD sensor. And that's a warning here, guys. I'm talking about resolution, right? But let me talk a little bit about sensor. As you can see here, 1/3 inch CCD Sony, but it's not a Sony camera. In this case, it's a Samsung camera that's just using the Sony chip to capture the light and convert to images, right? The rest of the camera is all Samsung, okay? So be careful with that because some vendors try to push a camera saying, hey, this is a Sony camera just because there's a Sony CCD there. Come on, Sony manufacture the CCD and a lot of companies buy from Sony just to put on their cameras. So it's not a Sony camera. Sometimes you find like a really Chinese cheap cameras using this CCD and they claim to be like a Sony camera. So be careful with that, all right? So back here to the resolution. The technology, right? You see here 600 TV lines, right? For this camera using the CVBS technology, okay? Let's move on to the next one, A8D analog high definition. This is a Korean company, Next Chip, that manufactures this chip that goes inside of your camera and gives your camera megapixel resolution. Let's say, for example, 2 megapixel resolution. Here you see 1920 by 1080. As we saw before in another video here in the channel, you know that this is the same of 2 megapixel resolution. You can say 1080, or you can say that's a 2 megapixel resolution camera, right? So different manufacturers use this chip. Let's say, for example, here in this catalog, you can see this manufacturer here or this distributor using A8D technology. As you can see here, this is a 720p resolution. Okay, it's almost 1 megapixel. As you can see here is 0.9 megapixel. Okay, but you can also find A8D technology with more resolution, like 2 megapixel, for example. Let's move on to the next one, TechPoint. TechPoint is the manufacturer of this technology. So HD-TVI is a high definition transport video interface. You can find cameras with 0.9 megapixel, 2 megapixel, 3, 5, 4K. That's the same of 8 megapixel. As you can see here, it's a 8 megapixel resolution here. I'm talking about 4K, so you can see more details when you zoom in. And this camera is using the TechPoint technology high definition transport video interface. This is very popular with Hikvision. So Hikvision, it's not the developer. They didn't develop this technology. This is technology developed by TechPoint, but Hikvision uses this technology in their camera. So you can find Hikvision technology with HD-TVI. As you can see here, you buy a camera, you can see the specification, okay? Moving on to the next one, Dahua uses the HD-CVI. It's a high definition composite video interface, and you can also find cameras with 0.9 megapixel. We used to say 720p, right? 1080p. That's the same of 2 megapixel resolution, and also have 3 megapixel, 4 megapixel, 4K, the same as 8 megapixel. So Dahua is the manufacturer of the technology, and you can buy from Dahua, or you can buy OEM. You can buy other cameras that use Dahua technology, but it's not Dahua itself. And you can find cameras like with different resolution. Here, for example, I have 4CIF, 2 megapixel, and 4K. And you can see here, manufacturer using HD-CVI technology from Dahua. As you can see here, HD-CVI. And there's also HD-TVI and AHD. So what is that? This is a hybrid camera, guys. You can also have some manufacturers using hybrid technology, meaning you can plug your camera in a DVR that's also hybrid. It doesn't matter if the DVR has HD-CVI, HD-TVI, or AHD, the camera can send the signal so the DVR can record correctly. Those are hybrid devices. So you can buy a hybrid camera and a hybrid DVR, or your DVR has just one technology, let's say HD-CVI, right? But your camera can change the technology that's using. So you use CVI, TVI, or AHD, okay? So that's very, very important. You need to understand that there are a lot of different technologies in the market. Don't get confused. You need to understand a little better what you're using so you can match the technology from your camera to the DVR, or you can use hybrid DVRs, right? So that's why you're here watching videos, learning more. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can watch more videos like this one. Also hit the bell notification, leave your comments and your thumbs up. See you in the next video.